Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
This whole thing's a joke? This is absolute cringeworthy, and they should be ashamed.
On top of them when they wake up, like these are serial monsters.
Lively is boiling with rage after Ryan Reynolds embarrassed himself beyond repair at SNL's 50th anniversary. Hollywood was already done with them, but this cringe fest sealed their fate.
It is truly, truly embarrassing.
Ryan's pathetic attempt to spin their reputation in a positive light completely backfired. And honestly, if Blake files a divorce after this, nobody will be surprised.
Why would you show up to this event that's literally run by your ex's husband?
Ryan Reynolds and Blake Lively decided to crawl out of their PR disaster cave and make an appearance at SNL's 50th anniversary. And guys, it backfired so badly, I almost feel sorry for them almost.
Words coming in from the celebrities at the Saturday Night Live 50th anniversary asking why Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds were even there.
This was supposed to be a celebration of legendary comedians' iconic sketches and Hollywood funniest people. And what did we get instead? Ryan Reynolds showing up just to obliterate his own reputation in the most spectacular way possible. This was career suicide, but on live television in front of the entire industry.
I'd say the majority of people I'm reading are not okay that he went and joked about such a serious thing. In fact, it actually did the reverse for many.
Let's set the scene. Blake Lively, the same Blake who claimed she was in severe emotional distress and couldn't even leave her house, was suddenly all smiles strutting down the red carpet. Meanwhile, if anyone deserves an Oscar for fake suffering, it's her. Meanwhile, Ryan looked like his last two brain cells were fighting to escape his skull.
Did they rewrite the SNL scripts too? Terrible humans.
And just when we thought it couldn't get worse, Ryan decides to open his mouth. You would think a guy with a $150 million Marvel deal would have some self-awareness. But nope, Ryan did what Ryan does best, making a joke so painfully unfunny it physically hurt to watch. Clip 7. During a Quanda segment, Tina Fey and Amy Poe, actual comedians, by the way, asked Ryan a simple question. They literally just said, "How's it going?" And instead of just nodding, smiling, and keeping his dignity intact, Ryan had to be Ryan. His response, "Great. Why, what have you heard?"
This is a question.
I have a question.
Oh, hey, Ryan Reynolds.
Hi.
Hey. Ryan Reynolds, how's it going?
Great. Why? What have you heard?
Oh my God, the room froze. You could hear the discomfort, and the laughter, it wasn't even real laughter. It was that nervous, awkward chuckle people do when they don't know if they should run or pretend it didn't happen.
It got some laughs, a little uncomfortable from Anna Taylor, and then Kevin Costner just didn't react at all.
Kevin Knerr, stone-faced Steven Spielberg, physically shifted in his seat like he wanted to teleport out of the room. Blake looked like she just realized she married a walking PR nightmare. Let's talk about how bad this joke was. This wasn't just unfunny, it was self-sabotage in real time. The entire world knows about the $400 million lawsuit, the PR disaster. And the fact that Hollywood is done with these two, and Ryan, instead of playing it smart, dodging the moment, or literally saying anything else, he throws himself into the fire.
You know, Blake and Ryan are out there on the one of the biggest stages, addressing, sort of alluding to it when they're trying to tell everyone to stop talking or stop defending themselves. They're allowed to go out on the red carpet and play like their brand is fine.
And then there was that dead silence before some people gave forced pity laughter. That's when you know it's bad, not actual laughter, but the please let this be over soon kind of laughter. Oh, and let's not forget about Blake's reaction, that split-second death stare she shot at Ryan, pure rage. You could see her mentally calculating how many PR statements it was going to take to clean this mess up.
Walking out like, "Oh, have you heard something? What's going on?" You know exactly what's going on. And there's a lot of question and confusion and frustration due to what your wife's behavior was.
And it wasn't just the audience cringing. Even Amy Poe and Tina Fey hesitated. These are two of the sharpest comedians alive. And even they were like, do we keep this going or pretend it never happened? Social media, of course, went absolutely feral.
Yeah, okay. Well, my question is that, you know that the materials that they made the cone heads with
Are those edible?
Edible? No. And based on them being made in 1975, I'd assume that they're highly toxic.
Over 100,000 tweets flooded, and within 24 hours, 68% of the reactions called it cringeworthy or out of touch. Clip 14. People were literally posting reaction memes of themselves secondhand cringing in their living rooms. And just when you think it couldn't get worse, Ryan decided to double down on the stupidity. Instead of just sitting there quietly and letting the moment pass, he launched into some weird joke about the Coneheads' costumes being edible.
My biggest takeaway was just how unfunny the Coneheads bit was. Anyway, I'm not the only one. A lot of people were very confused as to why they were there in the first place.
Bro, what are you doing? Nobody asked, nobody cares. At this point, even the SNL cast wanted him to stop talking. Amy Poehler literally cut him off mid-joke and just went, yeah, they should go to the hospital. Translation, please shut up, Ryan.
It was live. They could have asked anything, and I would have heralded Amy Poehler or Tina Fey or anybody who had the guts to say, sit down, dragon. Just something would have just kicked it up a notch to actually be, the Saturday Night Live we had expected to be. But no, it was very safe, and it was very not funny.
This was beyond embarrassing. It was one of the most desperate attempts at deflecting attention I've ever seen. It's like he knew the lawsuit drama was sitting in the back of everyone's mind, so he tried to force some random joke about Coneheads to make everyone forget.
A lot of people have caught this, and I got to echo it again. This is your first appearance to go out and about after all the drama to show up on Scarlett Johansson's husband's show. Colin Jost, her husband, big deal, big head writer over at Saturday Night Live.
And if you thought Ryan was the only train wreck of the night, Blake was right there next to him, matching his energy in the worst way possible. Let's remember something very important. Blake Lively has spent months claiming she was too emotionally wrecked to be seen in public. She literally filed legal documents saying she was suffering too much to even leave her house, but now front and center at SNL grinning for the cameras make it make sense.
When the two rolled up, and apparently Dakota Johnson had a nice experience with Blake Lively. I wonder if she chose to or just was stuck there.
Hollywood immediately saw through it. A-list actors were overheard asking who invited them. Imagine being so despised at an event with every major celebrity. People are actively avoiding you.
While on the movie set, one source who was at 30 Rock for the taping tells us Blake and Ryan were the talk of the entire evening, and many people avoided them.
Even social media, so through the ACT comments, were brutal. I thought she was suffering in distress. Oh, I guess not, Blake. And Ryan really thought they could fake their way through this. Nobody believe a word these two say anymore.
I can imagine that. It's a weird timing. And again, weird place given that it's your ex's husband's big event.
And then there's a legal aspect. Ryan's disaster joke literally helped Justin Bolden's legal team know seriously Blake's entire case was based on her being mentally and emotionally destroyed by the lawsuit. And yet here she was dressed to the nines, laughing, waving, and having a grand old time. Justin's lawyers were probably popping champagne watching this unfold. You can't claim emotional distress and then show up acting like nothing happened.
And again, part of that is just like, why would you risk this? You're supposed to be out in duress, and I can't leave the house. That's what Blake keeps assuming and saying. But now they're out there celebrating, making jokes, making light of it, which Justin Baldoni's legal team could absolutely use against them in Justin's defense.
Ryan literally ruined her case in 10 seconds. One bad joke and boom, months of legal strategy down the drain. And let's be real, this was just another classic Ryan Reynolds screw-up. This guy thinks is the funniest person in the room, 247. But here's the truth, his humor is tired, forced, and painful, self-destructive. It's like watching someone who peaked in high school keep trying to make the same jokes work years later.
The way your wife took over that movie was shameful. And never because he's a harasser. No, everything I'm gathering, the truth of this story, it seems to be Blake sensed she had a hit on her hands. And as soon as that happened, she took over.
Ryan's entire self-aware comedy routine is finally catching up with him. And let's not forget, this isn't his first PR disaster for years. He got away with the same old routine, acting like the smug, self-aware funny guy while throwing a couple of dad jokes. But now the cracks are showing and everyone is realizing that Ryan Reynolds isn't a comedic genius. He's just a guy who refuses to shut up.
Well, if they didn't show up, people would have thought it was weird since they both hosted. They both didn't host, and nobody was asking, where's Katie Holmes, and where's The Rock, and there's been thousands of people who've hosted this show over 50 years.
And of course, he had to drag Deadpool into this mess too. This man is so desperate for attention that he actually tried to use Deadpool 3 to take cheap shots at Justin Baldoni. That's right, instead of focusing on making a decent movie, Ryan decided to create a pathetic nice pool character, a soft-spoken faux feminist dude with a man bun and cringe-worthy activism energy that was so obviously mocking baloney even casual fans noticed it.
And used his nice pool character in Deadpool and Wolverine to mock Justin Baldoni.
But here's the kicker, it completely backfired. The backlash was so bad that the Deadpool 3 marketing team had to scrub certain jokes before they even hit the trailer. Imagine being so insecure and petty that you create an entire character just to dunk on another guy and then end up embarrassing yourself instead, said. And it doesn't stop there. Ryan's entire Hollywood standing is slipping faster than his forced onliners. Clip 25. For years he rode the Deadpool wave, pretending he was some box office golden boy, but now studios are finally realizing that he's more of a liability than an asset. His brand deals are crumbling. His company Aviation Gin has lost 20% of its engagement rate since this lawsuit mess started. Turns out people don't want to buy booze from a guy who's out here trying to drag his wife's failing career out of the gutter by starting feud with other filmmakers.
In Deadpool Wolverine, you used Deadpool Wolverine to mock this guy in the film that your wife disagreed with and didn't get along with. It's so hard to process.
Netflix is reconsidering Fuel Project with him, the same Netflix that gave this man a $20 million paycheck for Red Notice, a movie so generic it made AI-generated scripts look like masterpieces. So let's summarize. Deadpool 3 is in damage control mode. His brand deals are dying, and Hollywood is slowly starting to phase him out. But sure, keep cracking jokes, Ryan. Maybe someone will still be laughing by the time your career fully crashes. And burns. And speaking of absolute career disasters, let's talk about the $400 million lawsuit that's been dragging Ryan and Blake straight to rock bottom.
Ryan, make light of the situation, I guess, try to find some humor in all this.
I'm unaware of anybody, frankly, whose wife has been sexually harassed and has made jokes about that type of situation.
At this point, Justin Bolden's legal team isn't just winning this case, they are putting on a masterclass in how to dismantle two Hollywood frauds in real time. The receipts, so they got plenty emails proving that Blake Lively manipulated the film's editing process because she wanted full control. 50-plus industry professionals stepping forward to say, yeah, she's actually a nightmare to work with.
No, there was no expectation that Blake Lively needed to be there from the 2009 hosting gig. I think everyone would have been okay if Ryan and Blake sat this one out, but they didn't. They showed up to try to make light, to sort of poke fun and seem likable and see everything's cool, guys, right? No, that's why.
This is Blake's worst PR nightmare, and just when she thought things couldn't get worse, an old 2009 interview surfaced one, where she bragged about turning the entire Gossip Girl cast against Penn Badgley. So let's recap. Blake has a long history of manipulating people's sabotaging careers and being generally insufferable, and now former colleagues are coming forward with even more horror stories. This lawsuit isn't just revealing who Blake and Ryan are. It's completely torching their public image, but of course Ryan and Blake thought they could smooth things over with their disastrous SNL appearance. Clip 29. Hollywood is officially done with these two. Sources inside 30 Rock reported that Alice actors were actively avoiding them all night. Imagine showing up to one of the biggest industry events of the year thinking you're going to win back some favor only for people to pretend you don't exist, and it gets worse.
And this is the environment they're going to let this slide? They did a fake one of these on Justin Baldoni? These two should never be accepted in any circle ever again here if that place had even 1%.
Blake left without attending the after party, a clear sign that they were getting iced out by the industry executives who once loved Ryan are now reconsidering everything. His $150 million Marvel deal now on shaky ground. PR experts are calling their SNL appearance one of the biggest misfires of a decade, and honestly they deserve